Okay, this is some of the best arm training advice I have heard in a long time.
In this video, we're going to cut through all the BS and get right down to what actually works. It's not about some special set of exercise variations, targeting the deep stretch.
I'm very pleased, and I want to put my stamp of approval on it as well for whatever that means to you guys.
The biceps are a relatively small muscle that mainly perform elbow flexion, aka bending your arm. There are only so many different ways you can do that, and whether it's this, or whatever else, they can all effectively stimulate your biceps for growth, including both the long and the short head. This isn't about chasing the pump or the burn, it's about training close to failure and progressing the load over time, and the same principles apply regardless of the exercise. Bodybuilders have been building massive biceps for decades using simple free weight curls. I personally did nothing but barbell and dumbbell curls for the first 5 years of training and made excellent gains. And these are a perfectly good option regardless of what some so-called optimal science-based TikTok lifter with 6 months of training experience might try to say.
That this is truthful, beneficial information from Sean Nalawaniage.
And all these videos showing you how to sculpt a taller biceps peak by biasing the long head or how to get wider biceps by hitting the short head, that's really just clickbait that distracts you from the things that actually matter for proper biceps exercise selection. For rep ranges, technically any range can work if proximity to failure is the same, but my overall recommended sweet spot would be about 4 to 10 reps per set.
Sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. I took a swing at it.
As far as volume goes, around 3 to 10 direct sets per muscle per week is the general range I recommend, which might not sound like a lot, and it isn't if you don't actually train hard. But if you do, and you're genuinely lifting with high effort within a rep or so of failure, and going all the way to failure here and there, then this isn't as low volume as you might think and will work well for most people.
Before we get into my full analysis of this, I want to add something to his advice. I think it's fantastic advice, but I have a little tidbit of my own, things that have helped me grow my pipe zaddies up to 19 inches that I want to add. Another thing that has helped me grow my arms, my girth monsters, the big old thickies splitting out the sides of my shirts up to 19 inches cold flex recently, has been the use of hormone enhancements. To be completely transparent, I got to 18 inches naturally, and from there, there's been some dabbling, okay? And now, exciting announcement on my site, I'm going to be documenting full disclosure updates of exactly what I'm doing. Now, in the fitness industry, there's not a lot of transparency, okay? And it seems like the main thing that people care about is whether you're honest or not, okay? They go, are you natural? Are you enhanced? We get all caught up in this natty or not. And then people say, you know what, at the end of the day, I just don't want to be lied to. And I agree. It's frustrating. It's hard to mediate and determine what you should expect for yourself. Also, if you're looking up to somebody and they are enhanced, but they're not telling you what they're doing, then it's hard to think that you could produce the same result in and of yourself, or potentially that you may no longer want to look up to them, if so be it, you know, in your own determination, estimation, if you don't want to go down that same path. I ramble, say all that to make the point clear that I want to be transparent and share with you guys everything that I'm doing. I'm going to be updating on my website the School of Armology, where all of the arm courses, hundreds of hours of videos, is it hundreds? It might be. It's something like that. 3 different courses, and then continual updates of every single arm workout that I do. You have access to all of that, plus weekly breakdowns of what I'm doing in the hormone optimization enhanced space to lead to additional arm gains. Again, I went from 18, naturally capped out my genetic potential, and we've been dabbling in some hormones since then, which have allowed me to get to 19 inches. I'm going to share all that information with you and everything that comes with it, because people have a big misconception as to, you know, what a lot of these things are. I've learned a lot of truths, and I want to share them with you. It's all going to be accessible there on YouTube. Here, we're going to continue to keep things PC. I don't want to get banned. I want to get shadow banned. So on my site there, it's all safe. Nobody's going to block the videos, block the information, and that's where it's going to be for you to access if you're interested in doing TRT, or if you're interested in doing a little more than TRT, or optimizing your hormones further, dabbling, trying to get extra juicy, whatever it may be. I'm going to be sharing with you what I'm doing, what I've learned that could be applicable for you. A couple of these, I've got 2 videos up there right now. We've got the giant lie about TRT, which I think a lot of you will find satisfying and interesting, because there are so many misrepresentations of what it really is and what this term TRT that gets thrown around. It's one of the first things I learned. And then also my blood work reveal 2 months in on testosterone. So if you want access to that stuff, and every YouTube video that I upload, there's also going to be a topic discussed there. I'm very passionate about that stuff, and so if you're interested in TRT or whatever your interest is in that at all, you will get access to all the ARM courses and my current ARM routines every day, and then also there will be another section here where all of these PED based hormone optimization discussions will be happening. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. Okay, enough of that disclaimer. It's just a big move here. I was excited to share with you guys what I'm wanting to talk about and be transparent about these things, but I wasn't quite sure, still kind of learning, but I do think we need more people to be transparent. So at the end of the day, you need to make the decision for yourself, and I think a lot of that information there will potentially dissuade you from doing TRT or running, blasting testosterone, whatever it is. I think access to good, healthy, accurate information will help people to make decisions on their own, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I want to encourage, because it is not a decision to be taken lightly, but it's hard to make the right decision if you don't even have access to the truthful, accurate, transparent knowledge about these things. So back to the point of this video after that long promo. The one thing that I would add to what Sean is outlaying here,
this isn't about chasing the pump or the burn. It's about training close to failure and progressing the load over time, and the same principles apply regardless of the exercise.
Which he kind of hints at, which is you need to, find a way to make your workouts harder, which I love. It's so true. If you do the same thing over and over again, you won't get more growth. Your body will adapt, and then you'll stagnate. You'll be able to plateau. Rest times, as well as alternating sets or supersets and tempo. Those are 3 components that I'd like to add on here, which I'm sure Sean has his own thoughts on, and I'm not like opposing what he's saying, but I'm just trying to tack this on, add my 2 cents. His video is getting tons of views, I was pumped up, because usually the content that gets tons of views on YouTube is a bunch of bullshit, manipulative, fucking flashy shit to sell you on a result and not give you the true information. I was like, God damn, this is like very freaking close to the truth as I've seen it in my experience growing the pipe zaddies up. So let's promote this. Holy crap, we're rambling all over the place. Who gave this guy crack? I don't know, man. Don't know his name. Don't know my dealer's name, man. Try to keep it. I'm just okay, messing with you, man. I'm not on crack, allegedly speaking. Okay, so rest times and alternating sets tie in to progressive overload. And he's saying, you need to find a way to progress your training over time. I found in my own experimentation that I had trouble progressing and getting stronger in my arm movements, which I think is going to drive the majority of your growth over time, when I was doing straight sets and when I was using shorter rest times. So if you hit a set of triceps and then you rest, 1 to 2 minutes, and then another set of triceps and then 1 to 2 minutes, you do 6 sets of that in a session, like he's prescribing, or 3 sets of it or whatever, the amount of weight that you can move from one set to the next really drops down, right? Anybody who's trained, you push all the way to failure. That first set, with whatever weight, you get 12 reps. The next set, you get 9 reps if you only rested a minute and a half, and then it plummets further. And inherently, we don't know that that's bad for muscle growth. Through my experimentation, I found that putting a longer rest time there, so that first set at 12 reps is closely mimicked by the second set, the third set, the fourth set, the fifth set. For example, 12 reps first set, rest 5 minutes. Okay, I know that's crazy. I'm going to explain to a way that we can use alternating sets to make this work without you losing your mind, getting bored in the gym for 5 minutes, twiddling your ball sack and getting distracted. 12 reps first set, 5-minute rest, 11 reps second set, 5-minute rest, 10 reps third set, 5-minute rest, 10 reps fourth set maybe. Okay, it's going to look something like that. And the totality of reps and weight moved is going to be much higher than if you're spreading out those sets over a longer time span. You're going to have more recovery, more energy to move that weight close to your maximum again and again. And in my experience, I saw this to be immensely impactful in my ability to do progressive overload throughout my workout, and then from one workout to the next, and to stimulate more muscle growth. It's my anecdotal experience. Okay? And so now the way to do this, where you don't have to just sit there for 5 minutes, is to do alternating sets. It's, to me, the most efficient way to train your arms and take advantage of the longer rest time to get more progressive overload, to force more adaptation of and muscle growth, like Sean is talking about. So I think you should hit your triceps and then rest 2 or 3 minutes, which is manageable. If you really train to failure, it's going to take you 30 seconds to a minute to calibrate back to planet Earth after you were interdimensionally traveling through the galaxy of arm gains. You don't even know where you are. You're planted back on Earth after that first set, 30 to 60 seconds, and you hang around for another minute or two. Just chill, let your body recover, focus on your breathing, and you do your next set. It's very manageable. But you do your triceps, you rest, let's say, 2.5 minutes. Okay, let's just say 2 minutes. 2-minute rest. And then you go do your biceps, and then you rest 2 minutes. Okay, and that's like one round. You've done one set of tris, one set of bis, and then you keep repeating, alternating. Your triceps don't work while your biceps are working, and vice versa, right? The curl, flex your elbow, hits your biceps. They oppose each other. They're not both working at the same time. That first set of triceps, you rest 2 minutes. You hit your biceps. Your triceps are still resting. Your body's working, but your triceps are resting. And then you rest another 2 minutes. So you've got the 2 minutes of rest plus the set of bis, which is maybe 30 seconds, plus another 2-minute rest. So we've got 4.5 minutes, round up, roughly 5 minutes before that, in between each set of triceps. And you'll have the same thing for each set of biceps. And not only does it make your workouts more efficient, it allows you to capitalize on a longer rest time, which is going to allow you to move more weight and reps in each set because you're allowing for more recovery, and it's going to produce more progressive overload, in my opinion, if you want to take what I'm saying seriously. And the last point I would add is tempo, lifting tempo. I think that the use of multiple tempos is very effective. And that sounds gimmicky, I know. And that sounds like bad arm advice. That's like this one exercise to isolate this part of your bicep is what's it sounds like it's in that category. I agree. I'm only saying this based on personal experience and experimentation. I found that using a slightly faster explosive tempo for at least some of my sets, for some parts of your training, or the first couple sets of a workout, or you do that for a couple months and then you go back to slow, will allow you to progress the weight at an immensely faster rate. It allowed me to build so much more strength. I was stuck at 17-inch arms for like a year or more, and I didn't change anything else other than started to use a little more burst and explosion in my reps, and that allowed me to start to gain more strength. Not just because I'm moving the weight faster, but I get 12 reps one day, and the next day I get 13, and then we're stuck there for a week, and then I get 14, and then I up the weight. That rate of progressive overload started to go up. I started to get a lot stronger, and my arms started to grow, and that was one of the main things, that kind of catalyst that took me from 17-inch plateau up to 18 inches eventually in the future. There's obviously a multitude of factors involved there, but seriously, that faster tempo made a huge difference. And so I don't think that means you need to just chuck the weight around recklessly. But if you're milking these slow eccentrics controlled all the time, which I was prior to this, I do think there's potentially some additional gains left on the table if you're not using a little more explosion and trying to move that weight. Obviously, you still want good form. You still want to be reasonably under control, but add a little burst, I think is useful. And then the slower tempo also has its place. That's going to potentially drive your strength faster, the higher tempo, but then on a set per set basis, a slower controlled tempo is probably going to produce more muscle activation. So you want to use the two of them together, whether that's the first couple sets are fast and explosive in your workout when you're most fresh, and then the next, kind of half of the workout, you slow down, you focus on control, mind-muscle connection, or, for 2 months, you use fast explosive tempos, primarily focus on growth for all your sets, and then you switch to 2 months of slower controlled tempos. I do think the utilization of different tempos is something I would add to Sean's advice here, which again, in my opinion, is fantastic. And I think that we cannot promote this message enough. It's just the truth. Like everything I'm seeing, like normally I watch videos on arm training advice on YouTube and I just get angry. That's why I stopped. I was like, I'm just not reacting anymore. I was like, this is just not true. It's not even that it's like I disagree. It's not like I disagree with your opinion on this. It's like, I know that this creator is falsely advertising what's going to work because it gets views and clicks. And you know how I know that? Because I did that myself. And there's a large amount of people who are newer to the gym and they don't know what's bullshit and what isn't. And they fall for this gimmicky, flashy shit. And Sean is not doing that at all. He's giving you the truth, which is immensely valuable information. So let's keep putting that out there, and that's my 2 cents for you to consider and factor in. And that's it. That's really it. Check out the site if you're looking to grow your pipes, or if you want to hear more about hormone enhanced lifting and what my experience has been with that. All of the new videos will be going up there. $9 a month. You get all the arm courses, you get access to all that stuff, and my daily arm routines. So if any of that interests you, check it out. If not, leave a comment. Tell me how freaking stupid my buzz cut looks. I don't know. Whatever you want to say, dude. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace.